Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. I am the host of the show, Paul Sanneman. I am founder of Contractor Staffing Source, and we help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Michelle Hummel from Web Strategy Plus. So Michelle, tell me, why should people listen to you? A little about your background, a little about Web Strategy Plus.
Yeah, appreciate that question. So I've been in my business now for 15 plus years. So I've been around the block for a while. I have a passion for internet marketing. I actually went to school for it many years ago, if you guys remember MySpace. So probably dates
Right.
myself a bit. But yeah, I just absolutely love marketing. As you know, it's ever changing. So I'm constantly having to learn new strategies. And it's just definitely where my passion is. I've started several other related businesses that help with the social media marketing field. I've done a lot in the space. So, my team is dedicated to learning and I'm dedicated to teaching them. So yeah, that's just my
Good.
passion.
So, Michelle, what does Web Strategies Plus actually do?
Yeah, so we're a full service digital marketing agency. So we'll do everything. We like to call ourselves a one-stop shop. So we build websites, we create multi-site locations, right? If you have multiple locations, we can handle websites of that size. We build e-commerce sites. We do social media marketing, SEO, content, videos, everything, mobile app. We do it, content, the whole thing.
Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that come up in this industry right now. One is, let's say you have, I'm going to say, $3 million company that does, I don't know, roofing. I'm just picking something, okay? And so the question always is, well, how much should I spend of my gross revenue on marketing? And then if I'm going to spend that, whatever percentage it is, how do I split that between search engine optimization and pay-per-click?
Yeah, great question. So I always say you want to be looking at about 10 to 15% of that revenue, to put towards marketing because it's all about the ROI. So in order to make money, you got to invest money. And that's really what you're after. So when it comes to kind of divvying up that amount, I would consider looking at it this way, because pay-per-click is like a fire hose, right? You turn it on, the leads come in, you turn it off, it stops. So I love pay-per-click for that reason. If you're really looking to get a substantial amount of leads in a short amount of time, that's a great strategy. So I would say I would try 50-50 to start. I'm all about like exploring different ways, seeing how things produce results. So remember, the pay-per-click strategy is a fire hose. Now the SEO is a long-term strategy. So we call that the evergreen strategy. For example, let's say you write 2 to 4 blogs a month. That's part of SEO. So when you're writing that blog content, that's something that could live on the internet for years. We have some clients that we've written blogs for, and the content's being found on the internet still today. So that's a long-term strategy. That's an evergreen strategy where if you publish a blog, again, it could drive traffic long since you did a pay-per-click ad. So I do think that the combination of those strategies is important. And I always like to try like the 50-50 just to see which one is performing, one way or the other. But I definitely think that the SEO is the long-term strategy versus the pay-per-click being, short-term.
Interesting, because I actually did the business success tips like 20 years ago. That tells you how long ago I did podcasts, right? We did 150 of them, and they're still up. I mean, it's like 20 years later, and they're still up there, and people still watching. So, question: AI is like the new thing, right? So I hear two sides. I hear AI is great, saves a bunch of time, just throw everything into AI and have it generate stuff and edit a little bit, and you're good. And other people say, no, Google doesn't like AI, it's too easy, and it'll hurt you, not help you. So, what's your opinion?
Yeah, it's a great question too. So with I use it for idea generation, right? Which is wonderful because sometimes I get stumped on how exactly I want to say something. So I really rely strongly on AI when it comes to creating social media content, strategies, themes. I love to ask AI, like, who are my top competitors in Orlando, Florida? And then it'll literally give me that list. Where I'll say, how do I beat my competition? And it'll give me a 10-step plan to do that. So I use AI to really generate ideas, not so much lean on it for blog writing and things like that. It will generate blog ideas for me, but again, it's not heavily used for producing mass content as much as it's used to help me generate ideas for strategy when it comes to developing a plan for my clients, when it comes to competitive research. I mean, I could spend hours and, having my agency for 10 plus years. I remember taking those hours painstakingly typing in Google roofer in Orlando and looking for the search results, who shows up on page one. It's a painstaking process, took us hours to do. Now I can literally type in AI, who are my top competitors in the roofing industry in Orlando, Florida, and it will show me the top results with links to their websites. And what used to take me hours of research is being done in seconds. So that's really how I'm utilizing AI for my agency.
Do you think it's good or bad to have AI write your blog if you edit it later, or you should just write it from scratch?
So I do think that you can use AI to create a rough draft of a blog, right, that you'd like to write. But then I go in and I look at opportunities to have hyperlinks, right, throughout that blog, because you want to be having great content, but also you want to have it linking to other pages of your website so that you can navigate people through that blog, to reach other areas. And so I use it as a guideline, but it's not the end all be all for an AI, blog strategy.
Okay, now I've heard a new term called footprint. They talk about, since Google is getting smarter with AI and Perplexity and all these search engines and stuff, that not only they look at how long you take to answer the phone, how people like you, they don't like you, how fast it gets. I mean, it's sort of like a super snoop, I know. And in the old days, it was like, here are the keywords that work and that kind of thing. Now I hear that it could literally, if you don't answer the phone quickly and people complain about it, you get downgraded for it. Is that true?
Well, I definitely think that we live in a world of instant gratification, right? We have DoorDash, we have Amazon Prime. We're so used to just getting things yesterday. So I think the way to really stay ahead of that game is to have like an AI chatbot on your website. That's actually helped me produce a lot of sales, because what happens with an AI chatbot is it scans your entire website, that when somebody asks a question, hey, how much is your website or what are your service? It automatically answers. And I've actually seen it answer better than I could have. It's really detailed, and within seconds, it's written 2 paragraphs. So I think it's just a matter of looking at the opportunities that exist today to be able to catch up with the instant gratification that people are experiencing, getting their DoorDash, their Amazon Primes. We just got to keep up with the technology that's available to us today that we can implement in our strategy. Yes, you should answer the phone right away. And I actually have a service that I pay that's an answering service, right? So they do answer all my phone calls. They take a message, which allows me to follow up when I'm ready for that discussion. So I do think that there are tools, there are strategies that can help us become available, in the way that people expect us to be. And you just kind of have to look at those options and implement them.
Now, can you give me some, you don't have to name me specific name if you don't want to, some success story in the construction industry, like a service company or somebody you've worked for, and how your services have helped them in the ROI and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. We have a lot of success stories, actually. We have a lot of folks that come to us and they need a new website and they're just not being found on page 1 of Google. So because of our expertise in SEO, I like to say that we build pretty websites, but we also give them a great personality, meaning they have the ability to have great search ranking, right? It's not just a pretty website. It's about converting. How are we going to make the website so friendly that we ask those questions that have them psychologically saying yes, 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 until they say yes to buying your service. So we are trained in brand story, called story brand content writing. So we understand how important above the fold is, the 3-second attention span that people give your website before they scroll down, that critical space right there that has to have the most impactful information. You don't want to say we've been in business for 1,000 years, no one cares. They want to know that you can solve their problem, and you need to state that clearly at the top above the fold. So I think when we create, our websites, one of the success stories is that we have the ability to know all of that. And one of our roofing companies, again, just wasn't found on the internet, didn't have great ranking. They were on the 5th page. After we implemented a new website, they were ranking at the 1st page. Their traffic increased 40%, so we've seen great success with that. And their conversion rate increased significantly as well, because they had a better performing website, SEO. They had blogs that we were writing, 2 to 4 blogs every month. So they were getting traffic from every blog that we were posting out. We also took those blogs and we found targeted groups on LinkedIn and Facebook, and we were taking those blogs and manually posting them into the groups where their target buyers were. And again, you want an educated buyer. A lot of people don't wake up thinking, I need to get a new roof today. But if you educate them, then you can convert them. So that's really, we've had a lot of success with all of those strategies together. We do comprehensive marketing.
So can you give me an example of, how much they spend with you and then how much they got back?
Yeah, so I mean, typically our packages are anywhere from $1,000 a month to $2,000 a month. So they're pretty affordable, right? And we
Right.
always look at the ROI. So it's like, okay, what is a $20,000 roof sale for you, right? So I always let them think through that. Like, how many roofs can we, sell in a month? How many can you actually put on in a month, right? And reverse engineer all of that. So again, if you're looking at it that way, and you sell 20,000 dollar roofs, 4 times a month with a $2,000 investment, that is a significant ROI. So,
Right.
that's really what you want to be focusing on is how much would that sale mean to me with that?
So if you spend $2,000 a month on you and you get $10,000 a month in profit, that's a no-brainer, right?
It's a no-brainer, right? And people just don't have time to do all the intricate things that they need to do, like writing 2 to 4 blogs, creating pay-per-click ads, thinking through. We also convert the blogs into videos, and now we have placement on YouTube, which is the #2 search engine in the world. We look at a comprehensive strategy. We are pulling the rope in all the directions. A lot of folks just kind of build a website and that's it. And it's like having a billboard in your basement. Nobody
Right.
knows you. So not only do we build a website that converts, but we create a lead strategy that brings the right people to the website.
Okay. So Michelle, if people want to get in touch with you, I mean, do you do like a free analysis? I mean, pretty much, I would say most people listening to this podcast probably have some marketing budget and some money they're spending on marketing. They're questioning, is it working or not? Or am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
That I'm sure every time you write that check to the marketing company, you go, is this really good use of funds or not? So, because it's a soft cost in a sense to most contractors. How do people get in touch with you and how do you find out if it's a good fit?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So our website is simply webstrategyplus.com. I also have a personal website, michellehummel.ceo. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me, but either way, on each of those websites, at the very bottom, we have a request a free consultation, right? Because I like to look at what they're doing, right? I can assess their website presence, #1. I can assess their social media presence. Do they have a blog? Does it live on the website? There's a lot of questions that I can help learn from a free consultation. So essentially, they just really book that with me. They find a convenient time on their calendar and we connect on a phone, video screen share, whichever is best. And I literally walk them through looking at their website and looking for opportunities for improvement. And then once I start to get into the proposal analysis, that's when I actually go ahead and do a complimentary competitive report for them, which people love. Whether they work with us or not, they get a competitive analysis that shows them exactly who those competitors are. And then we can dive in a little bit deeper to see, why are they competitors? And so that's really what I'm all about, is just understanding what it is that they're doing and how we can improve that and even beat their competition.
So Michelle, they actually get to talk to you, right?
Ew, me, but that's how in touch.
Because there's a lot of marketing. You call up and there's like a sales guy, or they don't get to talk to the man. In this case, the man's a woman, but you know what I mean. So
Well, that's why I've had customers for 7+ years. I mean, I definitely very hands-on with my agency. The buck stops here. I have meetings with my community managers and my team because, my success is their success. So I definitely am very hands-on with my agency. And, I appreciate those long-term relationships with my clients because I like to look at it like, hey, you have 1 location a day. You want 2 or 4? I love working
right.
with the franchise industry. So my heart is in the growth mindset.
Cool. Okay. So if you're not enthused and totally excited about the marketing company you're working with, I would suggest you call Michelle because you actually get to talk to her, the CEO, the woman who knows what's going on. And I think you get some great advice. So thanks, Michelle. I really appreciate you being here. And if you have any kind of construction company and you're questioning, is my marketing really working or not, I give Michelle a call.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate it. Great being here and have a great day.
Thanks.